Good morning! We are Lucas and Allie, and we're so excited to be able to sing with you guys today.
Today, we're going to sing about a sea, but it's no ordinary sea. It's the Sea of Galilee. So we're going to need a lot of hand motions. We're going to need your boats. We're going to need many, many fish. And what we're going to do is do that all together. So we're going to sing Sea of Galilee.
There's a sea, there's a sea, there's a sea of Galilee. There's a sea, there's a sea, there's a sea of Galilee. There's a sea, there's a sea, there's a sea of Galilee. There's a boat on the Sea of Galilee. There's a boat on the Sea of Galilee. There's a boat, there's a boat, there's a boat on the Sea of Galilee. There's a man on the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There's a man on the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There's a man, there's a man, there's a man on the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are hands on the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are hands on the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are hands, there are hands, there are hands on the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are nets, there are nets, there are nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There's a fish in the nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There's a fish in the nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There's a fish, there's a fish, there's a fish in the nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are many, many fish in the nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are many, many fish in the nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. There are many, many fish, there are many, many fish, there are many, many fish in the nets in the hands of the man in the boat in the Sea of Galilee. Woo! Good job, you guys!
Good job, everybody.
Hey kids, I'm Samantha Lamb and I am the director of our children's ministry, Kids Point, and I am here with another Bible lesson for you guys today. I can't wait to tell you this story. It's one of my favorites and I'm going to try and do it in 3 minutes. I don't know if I can do it because there's so much to the story, but let's see if I can do it. Are you ready? We'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the last time we talked, we were talking about David. And remember the guy that he was helping? It was the son of Jonathan, Mephibosheth. Yes. And so now we're going to fast forward in the story, and a lot has happened. Other kings have come in and gone, and now we have a prophet in the land, and his name is Elijah. And so now I'm going to show you a map. We'll see if this comes out well. But here's this map, right? And so this whole thing right here is the kingdom of Israel. And up here is this land called Aram. And so there was a king in Aram, and they constantly were trying to fight with the Israelites. And so the king of Aram would send in warring parties into Israel. And so I'm going to read you my first scripture, and this is again in 2 Kings chapter 6. And it says, Aram's king had waged war against Israel. He gave instructions to those who served him. I want my war camp in this particular place. But the man of God, Elijah, sent a message to Israel's king. Hey, be sure not to travel through this place because the Arameans are on their way. Israel's king passed this warning on to those in the place of the man of God had told him about. And Elijah's warning saved Israel's king more than a few times. Aram's king became greatly angered by this, and he gathered his servants together. Okay, so he's like, who's the spy here? Who's telling the Israelites what I'm doing? So then they're like, I don't think it's us. You know, the Israelites have this prophet Elijah, and he can hear everything, even when you're in your room alone. He knows what's happening because his God is telling him. So he's like, okay, we're going to get him. And so get me Elijah. Let's go get Elijah. And if we take him out, then we can finally get the Israelites. So the next morning comes, and I'm going to read you the next scripture. Okay, it says, the next morning comes, and the servant of Elijah goes outside, and he sees the Aramean army coming, and he says, Master, what are we going to do now? Oh no! And Elijah says, have no fear. We have more on our side than they do. And then he prays, oh, eternal God, I ask you, allow my servant to see heavenly realities. Heavenly realities. So the Eternal One awakened Elijah's servant so that he could see, and what he saw was the mountain was covered with horses and chariots and fire surrounding Elijah. Is that amazing or what? Okay, so then the Arameans come in and Elisha says, okay, God, I pray that you would blind all these guys. So they're all blind and they're all like stumbling about, and Elisha comes out and he says, hey, this isn't the right place. This isn't where Elijah is. Follow me. So he leads these blind guys right into the middle of Samaria. Okay, well, the Samaritans were not the friends of the Israelites, but still, here they go. Now they're in the middle of Samaria, right? And then he says, God, open their eyes so they could see. And the Arameans open their eyes and they realize they are surrounded by the Israelites of Samaria. And so, go ahead and stop the timer. I know I'm over, but I'm going to keep talking. So they open their eyes and they realize, oh my gosh, we're surrounded by our enemies. And the king of Israel says to Elijah, do you want me to kill these bad guys? And Elisha says, no. And I'm going to read you my third scripture. It says, the king of Israel had the table set and offered them a great feast. After they ate and drank, Israel's king told them they should go. They should return to their own master. And the Arameans stopped sending raiding parties into Israel. So this story is all about mercy. Sometimes you're going to have people in your life who maybe are not very nice to you, and you feel like they're sending a war party into your house or into your life or into your friendships, and they're making trouble for you. Maybe it's not even like you feel like it's that intense. Maybe it's just like a little brother who bugs you all the time and makes you feel crazy, or a little sister, or an older sister, or an older brother. That might be true too. And God is saying, here's a great example. Instead of wanting justice, I'm going to get them back. I'm going to pay them back for the way that they've treated me. What if we serve them a great feast? What if we did something that felt like a great feast? Maybe you're too little to make a big feast. I'm going to challenge you. If you're old enough to make something really yummy for your villain of your story, the bad guys, the Arameans in your life, I want you to do that. Make something nice for them. So this could be a meal, it could be toast, it could be breakfast, it could be a card, it could be like a special Lego thing you put together and you send to them. I want you to show mercy to the people that maybe you feel like are your enemies, and see what happens. See if the softening of their hearts changes their actions. Okay guys, this was a really big lesson. I did it in way over 3 minutes, but I still think it was worth it. I love you guys. I hope you're having a great time during the summer and enjoying your time off school, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
Hi, fourth graders and all of our Kids 20 classes. We miss you so much. I know this summer it's been a little different than previous ones, but we want to show you and tell you a little bit about how we're having fun and enjoying our summer this time.
Yes, guys, we really miss you guys. It's been great. We have been spending times outdoors, going out for walks, walking our dogs more, cooking, barbecuing. We've been doing so many different things, and I hope you guys are doing the same. School's out, sun is out. I hope you're, having fun outdoors. I have these dodgeballs here waiting for you guys, so we're gonna have a lot of fun when we see you guys in class again. And lastly, I hope you're enjoying Teacher Sam's lessons. I know they've been amazing. Hopefully you're paying attention and praying and doing everything you're supposed to be doing. We really miss you guys. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you. Bye.